Max, played by Paddy Beaver, hasn't had the easiest time on Coronation Street lately as Hess got himself into trouble at school, created a social media storm, and has lashed out at his stepfather, David Platt, Jack P. Shepherd. The one person who is keeping him on a level playing field is summer spellman, Harriet Bibby, who he has developed a crush on in recent months on the ITV soap. However, as it seems this rebellious side is set to continue, and as he becomes more like his late father Callum, Sean Ward, another familiar face could make a return to take him away from the cobbles. Some viewers might remember Marion Logan, Carrie Pearce, who has made intermittent appearances on the show over the past 6 years. Most recently in 2019, she returned to Weatherfield following the death of her son Callum and wanted to take full custody of Max and his brother, Harry Platt, Freddie and Isaac Rhodes. The grieving mother went head-to-head with David's wife, Shona Platt, Julia Golding, as the latter fought to show she was a good mother to Max. Eventually, the youngster's grandmother agreed he could stay on the cobbles as long as she continued to have contact with him. However, upon hearing about his latest antics with school and the conspiracy video, she could be marching back onto the cobbles and ordering her grandson to leave with her. Hearing about his behavior, Marion could worry Max is going to go down the same path as her troubled son Callum and wants to put a stop to things before they progress too far. The grandmother could believe David is not doing a good enough job as he has his hands full with his daughter, Lily Platt, Brooke Maloney. Thinking the youngster needs someone who will give their undivided attention to him, Marion might put a plan together to put him back on the straight and narrow. Unfortunately for her, David and Shona won't let Marion take their son without a fight, but she might manipulate them into thinking this is the best option for him. Falling for this, the beloved couple could accept Max is beyond their help now and will happily let his grandmother come and take him away. The actor who plays Max, Paddy, has spoken out about his character's future and has hinted more trouble lies ahead. He said, "Unfortunately, we're not going to see him calm down. We're going to see his confusion and his frustration at life. I think we're going to see more of his trauma coming out. There'll be more of him lashing out at people until I think people understand what he's going through. There are moments where he'll have some reconciliations, but for the most part I think he's going to rebel." Paddy also hinted his character isn't dealing well with his family setup at the moment and could do with a break from it. For most of his life Max hasn't had a stable family, he's been moved around, he's suffered the death of 2 parents. He's had David come into the picture, and then Shona, after he lost his mum, and that's confusing for any child, the soap star continued. "It's not been easy for Max, and I think that's where this misdirected anger comes from. Anyone in his situation is going to have a lot of frustration and anger and find it hard to process things. He's far more complex than your average teenager, and that was something that was exciting when I looked at it playing him. People say to me he's a naughty boy, Max, but I think anyone in his situation would be. He's had a really tough start to his life, and there's a lot of frustration there. This is a big hint he could do with a break away from the cobbles to get his head together and try to find a new path in life." Marion is not as villainous as her son Callum, but her actions in the past have made her less impressionable with viewers. David has seen both sides to her, the good and the bad, and could see how she would be a good influence for Max. It would be heartbreaking for him as he would be bidding farewell to one last piece of his late wife, Kelly Platt, Paula Lane. He has left. The father and son haven't always seen eye to eye, but the departure could have a massive effect on both of them. But will the youngster kick up a fuss as making an exit would also mean bidding farewell to his rush summer? Having been chosen as the second actor to play Max, Paddy has been enjoying his time on the show so far and has discussed what it's been like to join one of the nation's greatest soaps. The youngster said, "I wish I had a really exciting story to tell of where I was when I got the call, but I was just sat in my room on my own. I remember thinking about how different my life was going to be, and I just couldn't believe it. To be part of something that's so much older than me, and to be from Manchester myself is so exciting because it's iconic. You think of Manchester, you think of Oasis, Manchester United, Manchester City and Coronation Street. Everyone has been so lovely. It's such a great environment. It became so easy for this to be my first job because everyone has been so welcoming. I've been working a lot with Jack and Julia, Helen, Sue, Rob, and Harriet, and everyone has been so friendly. It's amazing to be working at a place in your first job where you don't feel intimidated by all these fantastic actors just totally welcomed in.